second chapter of the book presents some typologies which are sometimes used for describing responses to Islam and Muslims. This is a posh way of saying that sometimes in order to understand things, it's easier to put people in boxes. Responses to Islam, evangelical or otherwise, are pretty polarised in the 21st century, so typologies often just use two boxes or two poles: confrontationist, conciliator, closed, open, Islam antagonistic, Islam friendly, and so on. There is also a discussion of the degree to which these sorts of responses are Islamophobic, and whether there's such a thing as Islamophobia, which is not so easy to say. These responses have a wide range of causes, from disagreements between American Republicans and Democrats, to the tribes of West Africa, to the armed militias of the Middle East. Politics is obviously a huge factor in how evangelicals and others respond to Islam and Muslims. In the West, concerns around immigration, the public presence of Islam, and suspected Islamization are big drivers of fear and suspicion. There is also intense debate over the wisdom of Western foreign policy decisions and the justification for the various wars that have been fought in the Middle East. A lot depends on social and geographical context. An encounter in a leafy suburb might be very different to an encounter in an inner city. Relations amidst the violence of central Nigeria will be very different to those in Indonesia, which makes previous experience, good or bad, very important. This is particularly the case for converts from Islam, who are very influential amongst evangelicals. Finally, of course, theology is a big factor, and the chapter finishes by looking at different approaches. Evangelicals tend to be exclusivist in their theology of other religions. However, a good number hold inclusivist views, although few, almost by definition, are pluralists. Having laid the foundations in chapters 1 and 2, part 2 of the book now goes on to look at responses of evangelicals to specific questions about Islam, starting with "Who is Allah?" in chapter 3.